This is my first Plan With Me video that I'm posting here on YouTube. I'm using a Unison grid-lined composition book. In the last video I posted, I did a little flip through of this particular book, so you can go back and look at that. But here I'm counting out my grid for my weekly spread. So this particular book has the way the grids are, I want to say it's 5 millimeters per square. A lot of grid-lined notebooks have slightly larger squares, so that's another reason I really like this brand. Unison, the squares are just a little bit smaller and it just fits better for me. Here I'm counting out 9 squares across and drawing lines. So this will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I like to start my week on Monday. It just makes more sense to me than to have the weekend separated. I have a lot of weekend activities with my kids, so it just makes sense. I do start a square or two in from the seam of the book. It's a sewn seam, and so it doesn't lay completely flat because just the pages add some bulk. So here I am marking off the lines on the other side. I have a wooden ruler, so when I first counted out 9 squares, what I did was made a little mark on my ruler so I knew exactly where to go to save time, so I didn't have to count every time. I like to use a vertical spread. I have tried horizontal pages before, and it just does not work for my brain. I very much like to use an hourly kind of layout for my pages. So I tend to, take one page one day at a time and use the hourly kind of format to plan my day. Here I'm making lines at the top and the bottom of each day. The lines at the top, those spaces are for the days of the week, and the spots at the bottom are for where I write down what we've had for dinner for that week. So here I am putting in the times. I do more spaces between the hours in the evening because that's typically when we have more activities. So it just gives me a little more space to write. And then before 3 o'clock, I just leave one space in between. Since most of the time the kids are at school and there just isn't as much happening. So I do that on both sides. And of course, line it up because it's got to be even. And it just gives me, it's a little easier to see what the times are. One thing I really like about this book too is the paper is thin, but there's very little bleed through or ghosting. Bleed through is when you write and you can see the ink clearly is bleeding through from the prior page. And ghosting is just when you can see the writing, but it's not necessarily bleeding through. And there is some ghosting. And every once in a while, if I use a really juicy pen, like I have some Inkjoy pens, if I color in a lot with those, like fill in a heart or something, it can bleed through a little bit. But generally, the pages are pretty normal. So here I am looking at my kit. I have ordered quite a few things from Etsy. I can't remember where this particular set was from. I'm pretty sure it's Planner Envy, but if not, I'll try to add a link below in the description as to where I got those. Now you see I've got 2 boxes at the top of each day. Like I said, the box on the very top is for the days of the week and the date. The second set of boxes down from the top are just kind of empty space for me to add things like if it's someone's birthday, if it's garbage day, I put my little garbage day stickers there. If I have, there's something special like the kids don't have school that day or something, I will go ahead and use those little spaces at the top. It's kind of an extra spot that doesn't take away from the hourly layout. And then there I'm writing the date for the week. I can't tell you how many past journals I've looked through where all I had was the day of the week and the number at the top, and I didn't know what month it was from. So I always write that in. And then the second, the line that goes all the way through the middle from left to right, around the 3 o'clock mark, I make that line to kind of help me visually discriminate between before the kids are home for the day, and then once I pick them up for the day, just to show me where evening begins. That's kind of a big demarcation in my day, and so I always make sure that I write that out. Here I'm using my kit to put things to do at the top and things to buy there towards the bottom. Sometimes I'll have unusual things I need to buy, like an exhaust fan cover or something, and so I'll write those underneath things to buy so they're not part of my regular grocery list. Here I am using my little basketball stickers, and I'll try to link, like I said, all of the places I've gotten these stickers from below. But my son has basketball practice on Monday nights and Saturday mornings, so I'm using my little basketball stickers to mark that. It'd be nice if they were a little bit bigger, but the reason I bought them that small is because I could fit more on a page, and they were the same price. So there's me being thrifty. Here I'm just writing in the practice times. The page I keep referring back to is just my November monthly, where I have all of these things written out ahead of time, and then I just transfer them to my weekly when it's time. My pen was pooping out on me, so I had to keep rewriting over the same spot. There, on Tuesday, we had a doctor's appointment, and so using my little stethoscope icon, and I put it down, and then I thought, well, that's really light, so I was going to outline it with my pen just to give a little, oomph. And I did that, and I did that, and then I was like, I don't really like the way that looks, so I peeled it off. The thing I do like about this book as well is the paper is very smooth, and so while sometimes the stickers can come up, that also means it's really easy to take a sticker off if you need to. And there I used my whiteout mini from, I believe it's Bic, to white out that and just pick a new sticker and stick it on there. Sometimes I like to use the little stethoscopes, but I do find that they're quite pale on that background, so I don't use them as often as I'd like. And as you can see, it's much brighter to use the little teardrop that I got from my planner kit. The other thing I have on Tuesday is an appointment at 3:30. So I do like to differentiate between the different types of appointments that we have. So like if it's a therapy appointment, I have therapy stickers. If it's a dentist appointment, I have little teeth. Just kind of gives me a better idea of, what's what. In this case, it was, what are those things called? Conference. I missed our parent-teacher conferences, so I had scheduled a makeup conference with my son's teacher. So that just kind of marked that out for me. And then the last thing that I have is Election Day. I do like to keep track of certain holidays. Election Day wasn't really that big of a thing here. We didn't have a lot to be voting for in my district, but I did want to, make a note of that. So Wednesday we had an appointment, and my son unfortunately had to get a filling, so I used my little teeth that I bought at the teacher store years ago, and I have a huge pack of them, and I've just been slowly working my way through. used up a lot of them when my daughter had braces, so that helped. Not a good excuse to use your stickers, though. Just saying. Um, Now here it's Thursday, so I'm picking out a sticker for the garbage. I have this beautiful rainbow pack that I got from Aquariel Designs. She has all kinds of really super cute rainbow colored, um, just icon stickers, and I love them because I'm a rainbow gal. I just love rainbows. I always have. Um, Here is this little set of books, and for whatever reason, it's not marked on the sticker sheet. So I have zero idea where I got these from. If you recognize them, please let me know in the comments. But those 2 days are days when my daughter stays after school and does esports. So I just use those little icons to remind me that I need to go pick her up at some point on those days. Um, she could ride the late bus, but you know, she doesn't really need to if I can pick her up. And then on Friday, I had something that I was no longer going to happen. So I'm a little anal, and I like to, I will cross things off on my monthly, but it just looks so cluttered to me when I do that that I will go back and white out things instead. Um, but Friday was payday, so I used my little payday icon. And now that's kind of it for the weekend. So here I am just going back and making sure I don't have anything else specific that I need to do. Um, there are times when I like to use box stickers to outline special events. Like in this case, my daughter and I went to a play at her school, and it was kind of a special occasion. So I wanted to, mark that with a little bit nicer box sticker. But, a lot of times I'll just make a little note and use one of those teardrop type stickers or something else, or washi tape or something. Um, and then on Saturday, um, my son had practice in the morning, and it was also Veterans Day. So thank you to those of you who have served. My father was a veteran of the Vietnam War, so I always like to make sure I commemorate that. Um, there were also 2 other times for the play that we went to, but obviously we didn't go to those times, so I didn't mark that down. And then now it's time to decorate. I've got all my important dates and times filled in, so now I'm just using my kit. This was the first week of the second week of November last week. So I'm just using up, as many of the cute little pumpkin and fall themed stickers that I can find. Um, I like to go through the icons just to make sure that I didn't miss anything. But these are all stickers that I keep in an envelope in the back of my planner, so they're readily available. That way I can just grab out the pile and I've got all of the icons that I use typically. Once in a while I'll have to go dig for a specific one that I'm like, I don't use every day, but I like to have on hand. But in this case, those are the ones I use most of the time. Here I'm using the little checklist stickers, and because I kind of have a long to-do list that I've been carrying over, um, when I stack one up, I'll just cover up the little flag, cut out at the bottom to make it look like one big long list. But I do like using the different colors. That's kind of cute. Um, yeah, then I just leave the little uh, pointies at the bottom, the little flag cut out at the bottom. And there you go. Now I'm just taking another peek through. Um, Sometimes I'll use a lot of stickers. Sometimes I won't use very many. But if it's a short week and I know maybe that there's not a lot going on, I'll decorate a little bit more than I might normally, um, just to fill in some space. So here I have just some empty boxes and empty circles that later on I might fill in with a quote, or I might have something that actually happened that day that I can make note of, but I'm just kind of trying to fill in some of that empty space in my planner. And I really like this kit. It comes with a lot of variety of, um, utilitarian stickers and also just some really cute box stickers. In this case, there's a little Starbucks looking cup and some little pumpkins. So I'm just fussy cutting the sticker so that it adds a little bit of shape and dimension to my planner. It's just not all boxes and squares. Um, Although the uh, type A person in me does enjoy order, and I love everything to look organized and straight and whatever. I do also just enjoy the creativity in cutting these stickers out and kind of making them a little more interesting to look at. My ADHD brain likes that, you know, fun, I guess. So, anyway, there's that. And here in a minute, I'll shove it up so you guys can see. I did end up filling in most of the days on this planner. Someday I'll do a before and an after the pen. But at this point, I'm just happy I got the day done. So here in a minute, here's me again double checking I didn't miss anything. And then my last thing that I usually do on my planner is I will go to the previous week and carry over any tasks that I may not have completed, any, to-do list items that I forgot on the previous week, then I'll fill in those at the bottom. And then on the things to buy, I'll go through and just see if there's anything that I still need to get that I didn't get a chance to use before. So I'm going back to my previous week now, just copying over those particular items. Some of these things are things that have been carried over from week to week for a while now, but they're not, urgent today, but they're things I don't want to forget. And then other things are things that actually need to be done relatively soon, and sometimes those things I'll put on a specific day. Like if I have a deadline for a particular item. But generally, a lot of the things on this sidebar are like, you know, taxes, don't forget those, that kind of thing. Filling out forms and remembering to make certain phone calls and things like that. Things that my kids have to remember for school, but maybe don't occur right this minute. Like my son will be doing the ACT test here coming up. So I have to, make a note of that so I don't forget to do those registration and those kinds of things that I need to do for that. Yeah. And then once I fill out this part, I go back and I put a little arrow next to the things that I didn't get done because that's the bullet journal part of this scenario. Then when I look back, I know, oh yeah, those things didn't get done and I moved them to the next week. So there's an example of a filled in week. I did not write in the dinner on that last day because I don't think we had anything specific that I wanted to write down, but there she is. So I like to start at the top every day and fill in little notes as they come up.